Hello there, welcome back to A Chap Reviews. My name is Ash and I'm your host on this review of a recent movie from the perspective of a middle-aged British guy. And yesterday afternoon I went to see Nuremberg, the psychological thriller, historical in nature. And I've been looking forward to this for quite some time. I'm a fan of military history. In fact, I lived in Germany for 3 years in the early 1990s when I was in the armed forces myself. So this was a period of history that I was very much looking forward to unpicking in this movie, particularly because the two lead characters were, well, played by extremely competent Academy Award-winning thespians. Of course, Hermann Göring, the star of the Nuremberg trials, was played by Russell Crowe. And Doug Kelly, who is the psychiatrist charged with examining the mental health of the Nazi high command leaders who were put on trial in Nuremberg, is played by Ramy Malek. Now, it's an interesting, it's been done many times, Nuremberg, these trials, and an examination of these relationships between the captor and the prisoner. In this case, the story focused around the relationship between Ramy Malek, who plays an American psychiatrist, an officer in the US Army, who is tasked with examining the mental health of these war criminals prior to their trial, but also he's charged with learning about them so he can pass that information to the prosecutors who can make good use of that information during the prosecution. Now, there's a sort of an ensemble cast involved here. We've got Colin Hanks, who also plays a rival psychiatrist. You've got Michael Shannon, who plays Justice Jackson, who's the American prosecutor. You've got Richard E. Grant playing the British prosecutor. Leo Woodall plays an American soldier with a bit of a secret, who is an interpreter. So there's a bit of an ensemble cast going on, all competent within themselves. But the key part of this story is the relationship between Ramy Malek and Russell Crowe. What I'm going to say is I think Russell Crowe played an excellent part. You know, I thought, how on earth can a New Zealand-born, Australian-associated actor play Hermann Göring, you know, the most German of all Nazis, really, a detestable, thoroughly loathable human being, obviously, who was brought to justice in these trials. How does he play that? You know, how does somebody so associated with being a sort of Western hero get to do that? And actually, he pulled it off rather well. Obviously, Russell Crowe was somewhat portly of character, so he fulfilled the physical presence of Hermann Göring in this movie. I think he subsequently lost a fair bit of weight since making this film, thankfully. But yeah, he certainly had the dimensions to play Hermann Göring, and actually, I think he achieved the role quite well, considering he was putting on a German accent. It came across very well, and he was believable, slimy, unpleasant, detestable. The failing for me in this film is Ramy Malek. Now, obviously, he's a great actor. He's won his Academy Award for being the best actor. But in this role, the role of Doug Kelly, I just found it unbelievable. He's up and down all the time. You know, his character is rather fidgety. I don't believe for 1 minute he would have been allowed anything like the access which he had to Hermann Göring, to have the conversations and the intimate chats that they had, which were portrayed in this movie. It then shows him going on to, you know, get in touch with Hermann Göring's wife and pass letters and things like that. This is unbelievable that this would have happened. It's just so implausible that such a relationship could have been built. When they are almost portrayed as friends at certain points in this film. I would say that film is long, it is plodding, it's 2.5 hours in length, and around about 90 minutes in, I was desperately wishing for it to get on with it. You know, and I just felt like we needed to get to we all know how this ends. It's a bit like the movie Titanic. We know exactly what happens at the end. It's the mechanism of how we get there. We want to see the characters portrayed and shown to us on the film. And it just took so long. And it was, for me, the scenes in the courtroom, because this is in essence a courtroom drama, were unfulfilling. It seemed to give this showcase opportunity to Hermann Göring. Yes, he was brought to book in the end, cheated the hangman, of course, by taking his own life towards the end, but, and that was portrayed in the movie, historically correct, but I don't know, it could have been so much better. I believe, I've heard some people say this was one of the best films of the year. For me, it fell short of the mark. I'm going to give it 2 bowler hats out of 5. So below average for me. And I was grateful that the movie ended. Now, I don't always feel like that, and particularly a film which I was looking forward to for quite a long time. It wasn't what I was hoping for, and it was just poorly delivered by the second lead, I think, Ramy Malek. He was the wrong choice and chose to play the role in a very unusual and uncharacteristic way to what I would have expected it to have been in real life. But Russell Crowe, really good performance. Academy Award winning? I doubt it, but he pulled off the impossible. He made Hermann Göring come to life on the screen in the hands of a Antipodean actor. So very well done. But for me, short of the mark, 2 bowler hats out of 5. Go and see it. If you're a fan of history, you will get something from it from that point of view, but it's a long way around this story. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe my video for all my future reviews. Until the next time we meet, take care.